Mr. Eric, are you ready?
I could use a few more hours in my day. I don't know about you.
Dude, I'm telling you. Uh, yeah, yeah, just a couple more, just like another 11. Be great.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 125 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. For this episode, we're going to talk to the creator of Weekend Warriors Race and Relax, a regional event hosted in Western Colorado. And then, well, on here I have that we're going to cover the Dragon Drive World Champion points, but we are not. That is not ready yet. I'm trying. We've got the last few bits and pieces left for that. But what we are going to talk about is the Circuit 2.0. Okay, Mr. Eric White, will you hit that intro video and let's get this thing going? All right, guys, welcome to episode 125 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. Dude, I'm kind of excited about being in here today. My name's Mike Narx. I'm the host of this show here and the news that happens on Saturday mornings. I like to say we're your source for news and entertainment from the Drag and Drive community. Maybe we need to have some news anchor ladies say that. Your source for news and entertainment from the Drag and Drive community.
I like
Eric,
it.
what's up with you, man?
I'm Eric White, the co-host of the show and the news.
Mhm.
Man, everything drag, drive, repeat related, the
Yeah.
circuit related, primarily photos. Man, I'm so close to being caught up. It's been crazy. But yeah, just a little bit of everything, artwork, photos, you name it. That's what I got going on.
Yep, been awesome. I've been seeing motorsports paparazzi videos over on YouTube as well. Dude, that channel's growing like crazy. So you guys, you got to follow him over there as well. It's a great outlet for everything automotive related, really, I guess is
Yeah.
probably the best way to word that. Well, let's kick this show off and just say thanks to all of you guys for being our race car friends. We appreciate y'all being here. I really do right now. You guys are awesome. It's been crazy. I've talked to several of you today and yesterday, and there's some fun stuff that's coming up. And it's really because of you guys. I would call y'all jackasses, but it's been a blast talking to
That's not
everybody.
very nice.
Well, hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. And then right here, dude, how do I keep missing the AFCO Racing one? I thought I had all of these updated. Anyways,
Yeah,
thank
you
you
know
to our
what?
sponsors.
You need a new picture so that you don't get it confused.
Right, that maybe that's what it was, and I'm sure the other ones later in this episode are going to be fine, but this one here is not. But thank you so much to our sponsors for hanging out and being part of like our whole thing here, man. I've talked to some of them as well over the last day and a half, and it's just awesome to see everybody come together to help push this Dragon Drive community forward. Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil is awesome. We got some stuff to talk about with them. Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, AFCO Racing Products, Performer Built Transmissions, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all, if you're trying to do some shopping and looking for some stuff, those folks are out there. We've got a couple discount codes with different ones. We got affiliate links with like Summit and stuff. If you're looking for something and you think one of those sponsors can fit your needs, hit us up. We'll get you in touch right with the folks you need to be talking with. I don't know if y'all know this, but Summit Racing Speed Legacy began way back almost 60 years ago, 1968, as a one-man startup and is now the world speed shop with 4 facilities, 200 plus catalog editions. They fuel your passion, save you money, deliver fast, and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app. so you can get the easy access to speed parts. Find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and on the On All Cylinders podcast, which is a really good one. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. And whenever you're doing some shopping over there, we would appreciate if you'd just hit this link. This is an affiliate link that Summit has sent us. We've made it easy. It is a pinned comment or a pinned post on our Facebook pages and all that kind of stuff. So if you use that and you buy something, it ends up sending us a little money if the parts qualify. And it's just an easy way for you to help us in something that you're already going to be doing anyway. So it doesn't change pricing or any other way you shop or anything like that. Just gives us a small percentage of, I don't even know what the product list is. There's like 15,000 products it fits, and I was like, I'm not going to worry with all of them. So we'll be covering some of that stuff as we go along. But one product I did want to talk about this week is something we haven't talked about in a really long time, and it's really safety. Jaren Newinski made a post yesterday or day before, 2 days ago now maybe, and had a fire in the hot rod, the Turbo Mopar Mafia here hot rod, and dude, without a fire extinguisher, that thing could have burned to the ground. It was
absolutely.
Yeah, it was crazy. And luckily he was by a fire station, so those guys came over and got it out officially. But if he had to wait on them, that could have been 2 or 3 minutes of just the car on fire. Damn it. Like, I don't know how else to say it. But apparently the oil feed line to the turbo blew off or burst, and hot exhaust oil, they don't mix, and so caught on fire. And I mean, he's got some wiring and stuff like that to fix, but it's nothing that's out of the question, out of normal for those guys to repair. But so, of course I start looking at that, I'm like, damn dude, like I have a fire extinguisher in the old truck, but I don't have one in the cart, and I don't know if the one in the old truck is still good. Like, I haven't looked at it. I put it in there. Hey, 5 years later, I'm like, I hope this thing works when your buddy's car's on fire, So anyways, the product we're featuring this week is the fire extinguisher. They've got like 10 or 15 different fire extinguishers available on Summit Racing, but this one was one I grabbed based on all my research and stuff outside of Summit. The Sparco stuff really kind of did the trick for a lot of stuff. This is a pretty big one at $169, like 3 pounds. But when you're on the side of the road, who cares how big it is? The bigger, the better. They've got little ones that are just the sticks and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, safety, guys, safety. Want to make sure we're doing that. And then, dude, I want to give a big shout out to our buddy over at Low Dollar Motorsports. Summit now carries a lot of the hundreds of products from Low Dollar Motorsports. So big shout out to those guys. We've talked about having them on in the past, and I completely screwed up the date for the first round, and we're working on a second date now to see when we can get them on here and have some fun like that. So it's going to be kind of cool to see Low Dollar Motorsports stuff in there. So if you've been on the fence, summitracing.com, Low Dollar Motorsports, look at all the stuff they got over there. All right, I'll stop talking. Yeah, I'll let you talk for a second.
Well, while you guys are over there either buying some Low Dollar Motorsports stuff or whatever else you're buying, pick up a Summit Racing Drag Drive Repeat official branded t-shirt, or it's getting that time of year where you guys are going to need to pick up some hoodies. So definitely jump over there. They've got the big brim hats, so those always do good at any event. So any of that stuff while you're at Summit, make sure you jump over there and grab yourself one of those.
And I picked up a small for my daughter the other day. Dude, they had them on sale for $12. It was like in some random like clearance button, and it was just smalls, or I would have gotten me a new shirt too. But $12, I was like, God, let's go. I'm in. So they may have some of those in some other sizes, but I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, well, let's talk about some drag drive repeat updates. I know I talked about the Drag and Drive World Champion in the beginning. Y'all, we're getting close. The hardest part about this is just really manipulating all that data within the time constraints that I have that I can spend on that. So my plan is I should have the stuff from Redwood Rally tomorrow, I would think, something like that. And I will have that updated with points updates. And I'm going to post like the top 100 or top 50 or whatever racers. That way you'll know what your stance is when you're going into Six Smokies. So I will have that posted up before Six Smokies if I get the information out. That should be on Friday. We can cover it on Saturday morning's news episode, and then boom, we're off and running.
Yeah, Buckeye skips here. Any E85 or alcohol cars should have a fire system.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a because the E85 stuff burns so clean, it's hard to check. Well, tell us what's going on in this photo, sir.
Yep. So today I started dropping the circuit day 3 photos. So part 1 went up twice today because I was rushing around and uploaded them to the wrong album. So we got them in the correct album now. So those are up, and I will be posting. I think there's 5 parts to this one, so probably about 4 more days, and then all the circuit photos will officially be posted then.
Man, will that feel weird?
Honestly, I don't know anymore. Like, I've just like it's just part of me now. Like, I feel like once I'm done with all these photos, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, there'll be more. I promise. There'll be more.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, we got I got some uploaded to the website earlier this week too. Yep. So I got a Mega Week day 2, like half of the photos uploaded. So still got some more coming for that, and I'm still working on a process to get that down. I thought I had a process and it worked great once, and then when I tried to do it the second time, it just didn't work. So I was like, Yep. So still trying to figure out that process. It's a little more intense to get those photos a little more perfect before they go on the website and at full resolution, so they can be purchased and then just downloaded, and then that's it. So there's no other interactions.
Yep, and you guys can find that on our website under the store tab, or it's dragdriverpete.com/store, and you scroll down, it'll say photo galleries, or you can find over on the pixieset.com setup over there. Just search Drag Driver Pete. And yeah, man, that's probably one of the hardest things about what you've got going on right now is like trying to, because you've said it several times, it almost triples your workload because now you're literally looking at each photo, trying to figure out all the stuff that goes in there. So kind of crazy.
And it might not have been so bad if I would have decided to do this before we did 3 events in 1 month. If I would have started this last year, it might have been a little easier, but hey, here we are.
Right. And we're going to figure out something. We've got to get you an assistant or something to like, maybe you do the hard stuff, the really good edits first, and then your assistant goes in and does all of the overlays and stuff like that for the there's a process there, but we got to figure it out. Yeah. So anyway, until then, thousands of photos over on the Drag Driver Pete Facebook page, thousands of photos on the Drag Driver Pete Facebook page. I can't explain that enough. Yeah, that's a gang load of photos. Believe me, bro, it's crazy. It is crazy. Well, let's talk about the circuit 2026 updates on that. We are going to talk about what you guys heard me mention earlier, but the circuit 2026, I'm excited to announce we're going to host a morning automobiles and caffeine style event. I don't know. I don't know if I can say the other phrase, but it'll be similar to that. But we can't leave anything alone. We are teaming up with the group that runs Mid-America Nationals, which used to be the Ford and Shelby event in Tulsa. We're teaming up with them, and that Sunday morning of the Circuit 2026 is going to be insane. Vendors on site, car show, early testing, like test and tune style runs for the track and the cars that are participating in that stuff. The track's going to open like 8 a.m. We're going to run a touch a truck type deal for the kids to come out. I want this thing to be insanity, like absolute insanity. And then we pull in with our 200 cars, line everybody up. I have been talking to Colt Beck with Send It Race Media about a burnout pit and stuff like that we can do within this event as well. So I really want Sunday of the circuit to be a circus. I want it to be fun. I want tons of just regular spectator people to come out and have something to do, watch us race. We'll still run like 11 to 3. We'll kind of be it will be not kind of it will be closed for the circuit racers only, so we will have our time at the track locked down. But before that, if you wanted to make some test runs and things like that, you could do it. Those passes will not count, obviously, but I think it's going to give us an opportunity to really introduce Drag and Drive to a ton more people. If we can get 200 cars in the car show or cruise or whatever you want to call it that morning, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. I can't wait. What's Rodney saying? Yeah, the Circuit Auto Circus. Yeah, that's probably what we should call it. We're trying to come up with a name for that Sunday deal. This is kind of in conjunction with some other events that I'm helping with this Mid America or Mid America Nationals group. So it should be absolutely crazy. I've already started working on things and plans and getting things out there and getting those set up for that. I don't know if you guys know this, but we've hosted monthly events before, and Cars and Coffee to me makes a ton of sense because it helps really bring awareness and all that kind of stuff. And so our work with the charity youth services of Tulsa, I think it's going to be great. It's going to give us an opportunity to hopefully introduce that to 500 or 1,000 more people than we normally would at just a regular circuit event. So it's going to be crazy. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. Josh here asking, what track will we be at on Sunday?
Yeah, we're going to be Tulsa. So it's Tulsa on Friday and Sunday, and then Oklahoma City on Saturday. And that's a crazy story there because we really kind of need the time that morning because we're doing the racer party in Oklahoma City as of right now. So trying to get locked down on our racer party friendly competition setup. I don't know how else to word that without giving some details out, but man, you start working for something that's in 7 months. People are like, call us in 3 or 4 months. I'm like, no, dude, I gotta get this locked in now.
Right.
Trying to promote this thing, man.
Right. Got a
Well,
couple people here talking about heading to the Six Smokies here. Tyler Scholes, and earlier we had Danny Grubaugh saying that they're en route to the Six Smokies as well.
Oh man, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear their experience. And what's his name? Tom Bagley just landed yesterday, and so I think him and Danny are riding together. So excited for those guys. Well, speaking of events, let's talk about some stuff, bro, because I'm kind of excited. So give us the Driven intro, and then we'll talk about this event stuff coming up. Six Smokies is in one of that.
All right. Driven Racing Oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application. So whether you're launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or even pushing limits in top field drag boats and demo derbies, winning racers choose GP1. It's compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines. GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for those flat tappet camshafts, while also solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. It's crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages. GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. And you guys know drivenracingoil.com is where you can go and pick up your oil or any one of their other products that they offer. Use code DDR10 for a 10% discount while you're there. And then you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Driven Racing Oil and find out what event they are going to be at, because these guys are at tons of events. So if there's one nearby you, you can pop in there, pick up some oil, chat with those guys, and go from there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Driven. Those guys they're just great. They're all over the country, and hopefully they're going to be part of this new event that came out that has, well, not really even came out. I haven't I haven't announced anything on this, but the short circuit for November 7th and 8th is a brand new event for the Drag and Drive community. This one here really stems from you jackasses out there that wanted something. I'm not going to say wanted something. I posted that Eric's photos really kind of got me in my feels. If we did a 2.0, the outpouring from people wanting to do this was insane, dude.
I was going to say, you kind of opened the door for this, though. So
I literally had no plans to do this, to be honest with you. And based on conversations I've had, I think this is going to work. We're going to do a 2-day drag and drive event November 7th and 8th. I'm really excited about this. Big shout out to Brandon Parker for the name. He is very creative, and he's actually going to be my dude that weekend that helps with everything. Eric can't make it that weekend. He's got well, Eric's busy. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but he's busy.
And I literally didn't know about this until yesterday.
Well, I didn't either, to be honest with you. I didn't really even know about it till today. I finally got everything kind of hooked up and rolling with all of that stuff. And just want to give a shout out. Summit Racing is already on board as a presenting sponsor. Deegeworks is on board with gifts for the class winners and some raffle item stuff. This is going to be crazy. So this event is something that I feel like more tracks and promoters can do, and so I'm just going to lead by example. I talk about this all the time, is getting out there and doing this stuff. So Tulsa Raceway Park, Friday, November 7th, we're going to start at 5 p.m. with registration. It's going to be simple. The track is going to handle tech, all that kind of stuff, like they normally do on a test and tune, which is what sparked all of this. Is Friday, November 7th is a regular test and tune. So we're going to be in the pits with other test and tuners. And then Saturday, there is a test and tune / gamblers race. So I'm like, man, if there's 4 or 5 hours of track time on Saturday, now we've got 2 days we can race and set an average. So as of right now, the plan is to do November 7th and November 8th at Tulsa Raceway Park. Obviously, we'll check in Friday at 5 o'clock. Track will go hot at 6 o'clock, runs until 10 p.m. I'm going to order a bunch of pizzas Friday night there in the pits. I figure everybody will just kind of hang out. About 8:30 or 9 o'clock, get those pizzas in. We'll kind of have some fun. Then Saturday morning, get up, do a convoy style cruise is kind of my plan. Everybody leave about the same time. I'm kind of thinking around 8 because the track isn't scheduled to open until noon. So again, they're running a test and tune and gamblers race that afternoon already. So we will cruise around about 100 miles is the loop I have in mind. I haven't driven the route yet. I plan to do that next week whenever I go for the throwdown in T-Town. And so convoy Saturday morning, get back to the track about noon, get set up. Everybody does their thing. 1 pass each day is kind of what I'm doing right now. Eric has suggested 2 passes. We may see what the feel of all of the entrance feel like once we get a little closer and kind of get that locked in. So the simple plan is this is not going to be a huge event. This is going to be 40 cars, 50 cars, 60 cars, something like that. It's kind of what I think we can probably get. Obviously, this is a month away. This is literally 1 month from today. So going to be kind of interesting there. There is a Waffle House in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, which has a great, super killer Main Street, Route 66 area. So we're going to cruise through Sapulpa, hit Waffle House for a breakfast spot, and then cruise around. And I'm only doing a few classes. So 6 classes total. I want to just basically get into this thing and figure out what we can do as we move into 2026. So going to be DY of quarter-mile classes, DYO, which I think is going to catch most everybody, and then 12.0 index because that was our biggest at the circuit 2025, all motor, and then power adder. So it's 4 quarter-mile classes. Then we're going to do 2 eighth-mile classes because 650 index was so big. We're going to do obviously 650 index on the 8th mile, and then I think I'm just going to run a hard tire 8th mile class. I know not a ton of folks run hard tire, but man, I just really enjoy that. And I think that will bring a lot of people that don't really know what they should run, that don't think their car is competitive. Maybe they can jump over into hard tire and run it. So it'd be like a 250 tread wear or higher, something easy. And again, we're going to run this within the test and tune time. So this is going to be kind of interesting. Casey Lowry, stick shift, maybe I don't know. I feel like stick shift may be kind of tough, but hey, I'm open. We've got a few days to figure out what we're going to do, and then I'm going to lock it in, and people are going to sign up. Here's what I'm going to say. We need 40 cars signed up on this, or I'm not doing it, to be honest with you. It's not worth the work that is going to go in to be involved in the next month to get this done, plus everything that I have to do. So if we don't have 40 cars signed up by October 18th, I will refund everybody's money that has signed up. It's going to be $150. That'll get you entry for driver, co-pilot, both days of racing. I'm going to do window decals, and we're going to have some stuff that we get from from sponsors, but this isn't going to be circuit level event. This is going to be a fun, let's end the season with a good time, because after this event, there's only like 2 other race days at Tulsa Raceway Park scheduled. So this will be kind of like a season ender, kind of have some fun and do all that stuff. So again, $150 per car, 40 car minimum, or we will refund some money. So, anyways, the short circuit is happening because of you guys and all of the peer pressure that goes on phone calls and all that kind of stuff. So, big shout out to all the sponsors that are already on board, and big shout out to everybody that's going to be getting on board as we do this. Carl Steamian here. Hey, this would be a good one for him to sneak down here and do. And I think Friday afternoon is going to make it easier for folks to jump in. We're not going to race on Sunday, so they can either drive home Sunday or they can drive home Saturday night. So I think it's going to be fun. Regional, something super easy.
Yeah.
I am sad you're not going to be here, though. I do have to say that out loud again.
Yeah, when you told me the dates, I was kind of like, dang it, that's the one weekend that didn't work. So
well, and the other struggle is if we had to, if we have to rent the track and it's closed, uh, prices dramatically go way up, or we have to have so many cars. And with a month out, hey, that's not going to work. So,
right.
yeah, $150. That was kind of my thought, Rodney. Is $150 entry makes it pretty reasonable, and it gets you a good opportunity to kind of come in and just have some fun. I think we will probably pick up some folks from the Test and Tune Friday night. And that's something that somebody could, if they live in or around Tulsa, they stay at their house. So they're there for the Test and Tune. Now they can go, oh, well, hey, for $150, I'll jump in and do the drag and drive. So we'll see. I may actually give discounts for those. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We got time. We got time to figure it out. I need to quit thinking about it this year. All right.
Yeah. Before you jump into that, I wanted to bring this up because I didn't show this earlier, but Howie Price here said we blowed up our junk just a little bit. Just wanted to say thanks, you guys, for all you do and all the sponsors. Happy to have Howard's Cam coming soon. It will complement our Performa-built transmission 4L60E. So not sure what happened to the car, but always sad to hear when somebody breaks their stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially those guys. I did talk to Luke earlier this week, and he said, "Do you know this car?" And I was like, "Yeah, we love that car. What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, they have a whole new valve train from Howard, so super cool. He expects something special for them, I think. So it's going to be pretty neat, man. I'm excited to see that." And I was like, "You're probably going to pick up power everywhere, and you're going to love it." So.
Tom here saying Julie and I are headed or nearly packed and ready for Six Smokies. So wish you guys were coming.
Man, me too, brother. Me too. That is the next event on the schedule, October 12th through 19th. So today's the 8th. It begins in 4 days. I really kind of wish I was going, but y'all, it was just going to be too tight. My daughter's homecoming is Saturday night, and then I need to be back here no later than Tuesday night to do some stuff here at the house, and then I'm in Tulsa all weekend. So it was just going to be to do it Sunday and then come back Tuesday. It's too far. I've done that before and it just wipes me out. So anyways, Six Smokies.
Yeah. Next up is Buckeye Skips, who's was in here at the beginning of the show saying that they have around 140 cars. So
that's awesome. Yeah, one of those cars is our boy Tommy from Summit.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Him and I were on the phone today, obviously talking about the short circuit, and he said that he's getting his truck ready. He went home, pulled all the wiring out, and has put in new engine management for the S10. And so he is he's hopefully taking it to Big 3 Racing tomorrow, or what's today, Wednesday, tomorrow or Friday, to let them kind of get the tune set up with the new setup. And he's going to take it out to Buckeye Skips.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That is next Thursday, October 16th through 18th. So that'll be coming up real soon.
And then Martin Kilroy, you guys will remember him. He's got the 1923 or 31 or 29 Ford hot rod. That's like a traditional, flathead Ford, super cool rig. Marty was going to come out to the circuit. Then obviously with the new dates, he couldn't because he works with one of the state parks. But this car is super cool. Have seen him on Sick Week the last couple of years, doing some new stuff, man. So he's going to Buckeye Skips. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. Good luck to everybody going there. That should be a good time.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's the same weekend that Six Smokies will end. So, Buckeye Skips is going to have a great bump in press because of all the extra drag and drive stuff that'll be coming off of Six Smokies, blah, 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 Six Smokies, and all that.
All right,
And
then next up we got the Wild West Dragon Dash, October 23rd through 26th. This one is beginning in Concho Valley, Texas. So that's again, this is a new event, first time event. So excited to see how that one goes as well.
yeah, this one I think is going to be great because it's ran by drag and drive like veterans, big time, long time, been doing it and all that kind of stuff. So this ought to be a good one. And obviously next year they're going to add one more day of racing or whatever they got to do to be part of the Drag and Drive World Champion Point Series. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yep.
And that gives us, I think, 50 events with the new circuit event added on there. 51, maybe something like that, hosted for 2025. Absolutely crazy. Already up to 12 events for 2026, with more rolling in almost daily.
Did you cover Street Machine Drag Challenge?
Oh, nope. I didn't put the photo in here on it.
All right.
I meant to
That
grab
one's
that earlier.
that one's coming up end of October here, October 28th through November 2nd.
Yep. And that one's been around for a long time, like 2017, I think was the first year they did that. And it's Street Machine Magazine out of Australia hosts it. And I think that gives Australia 7 or 8 events for the year, something like
Yeah.
that. I'll have to go back and look. Pretty
Yeah, they're
awesome.
they're growing.
Yeah, that's a trip we need to make. Hey, honey, we'll be gone for 3 weeks trying to
Yeah.
get to Australia and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's what we take them on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine would not want to spend the week dragon driving in Australia, but she would maybe spend the week on the beach.
Yeah. Do they have beaches?
Oh,
where we're going to be, anyways?
oh yeah, I don't know. We just fly into Sydney, wherever that is in relation to whatever we're doing. That's where we go.
Nice.
Yep. All right. Well, again, thanks to Driven. Appreciate them and all their support over here at the Drag Drive Repeat brand. J-Wire Solutions, dude. This is going to be a fun one. I got a little nerdy on this stuff.
Jay was in
J-Wire's,
here just a
oh,
little bit ago, even.
yeah. What up, Jay? Expert car and marine wiring solutions you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, race car, or your drag and drive car. Plus, they offer tons and tons of product to make your driving experience better. We talked about blinker modules. We've talked about relay wiring setups. We've talked about snowblower wiring, plug and play stuff. These guys offer it all. jwiresolutions.com to find out all the stuff that they do. And if you have any questions, I mean, not just products, but also if you need wiring questions or you need your car rewired and you're scared of that stuff, Jay is great at that stuff. I've been doing it a long time and can get you set up and has proven front running cars. So pretty cool. Heater bypass block offs. He's like, please, God, talk about this because that way your stuff doesn't. It just creates this weird lukewarm water pool and yeah, so heater bypass block offs for all of you LS guys. This is a game changer for all the stuff that's out there.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything about that before I talked to Jay, and I just did like everybody else and bought the heater hose loop and put that
Yeah.
on. And talking to Jay, and he's like, "No, this is what you need." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, that actually sounds really cool." So I picked myself up one and already got it installed. So excited to see how that works once, one day I'll get my car going.
Yeah, hey, that's all right. We got next year. That's the plan. We're good. One guy's garage or Six Summer is your Mustang. You're going to take it on one of those. Hang on, I'm pulling this up. So if you'll talk about that first bit there, I'll link his video here.
Yeah, right on. So this is kind of cool. Big shout out to Clark Rosenstengel for breaking 2 records in his Camaro. So this was at the ESTA Land Speed Run in Blytheville, Arkansas, which I don't know how far that is from you. Is that fairly close?
It's a long way from me, but it's where I grew up. And my mom actually went out there. My mom and her husband went out there to watch these guys go 200 plus miles an hour.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I
Yep.
didn't know that. That's awesome. So Clark broke two records, 266.74 miles in the standing mile. Like
Yeah.
that is wild. And 223.76 in the half mile.
Yeah. He's a beast.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah. And this is the same car that he dragon drives, right? That's not a
Yeah.
different car or nothing.
No, same car. Obviously different gearing, probably a little bit, maybe even. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know
different.
if it even has different gearing. Definitely different front end.
Yeah, I was gonna say different front bumper for sure. I know that,
Yeah.
but man,
Yeah.
that's super cool to see. That's somebody that drives their car, right? Like,
A
you know,
100%. Yeah.
drag and drive, and this land speed records. Like, I don't know, 266 miles an hour is moving.
Right. And he beat his other record by nearly 2.5 miles an hour. I think it's like his old record was like 264. And I want to say it's one of the fastest street driven cars in ECTA history or something like that. There was something around that. I was trying to find it and do some research, but man, they have so many records and rules and classes and all that kind of stuff. So the cool thing is, if you guys didn't know, for a while, Keith and Tanya owned the East Coast Timing Association, and that's where they got really all of that start and rule packages and all that kind of stuff for Dragon Draft. So it's, land speed has a long history with Dragon Draft stuff.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
pretty cool. Yeah, 266 miles an hour is rolling, dude.
Right.
Yeah. On concrete, the Blyville mile or the Blyville runway is like 3 miles long. So you think mile of a standing mile, not a rolling mile, standing mile is pretty freaking cool. All right,
Yeah.
and then so I said I got a little nerdy in this one. Things happen in my brain, right? Um, we talked about Hot Rod Drag Week 2025 being the quickest the quickest year ever, all that kind of stuff. So it really, this 850 stuff really sticks with me hardcore. So I started kind of thinking, how much faster was it? Like what does that mean that things are quicker? Right? So I went back. Obviously, I started looking at like how many cars ran 850s during the week, right? How many cars submitted that pass? For 2020, well, let's start at 2019 because that's really the first year I started this. Um, Big shout out to Randall Reed, who passed away a few weeks ago, just before Hot Rod Drag Week. So that's really where I stopped going back, was when I saw that Randall had won the 2019 event. And that week was a very fast week, one of the fastest weeks on record. 7 cars submitted 850 passes that week, with 2 of those cars being one Rick Steinke, the other one being Jim Braun, running a perfect pass. That had never happened in the history of the class for Hot Rod Drag Week, and definitely not with 2 people. So Rick did it on day 2, Jim did it on day 4. Kind of a cool year. 2019, kind of a crazy year. Obviously we missed 2020. 2021, no cars ran an 850 on day 1 or 5, which seems pretty crazy because you'll see how this kind of grows in a minute. 2 cars ran 850 on day 2, and then one car ran an 850 on day 3 and 4. Dustin Trance, that was his first year to win that class, 2021. He would go on to win the next 2. So 3 years in a row, three-peated that class. 2022, it gets a little better. You have 2 cars that did an 850 on day 1, 1 car on days 2, 3, and 4. We had a rain out day 5 in 2022 at St. Louis. 5 passes total that week ran with an 850. 30 something cars in the class and only 5 passes submitted all week. And that was the the next year was the day he did every one of them. The last perfect run, that was the year that he did it at Byron and ran that 8500 right there at Byron on day 3. And he was the last one. That's the last perfect run in that class since then. So since 2022, nobody's run a perfect pass. Does that
which
seem
is
crazy?
which is funny because we weren't doing this at that time,
Mm-mm.
but I was there for that and actually have that on video.
Yeah. So I grabbed it too. And then I ran over to Dustin and grabbed the interview with him. And it's crazy to think because now, at this point, Dustin was like the third person to do it in history or something like that, third or fourth, maybe something. And then from there, I'm not going to say it's blown up. There's just been more opportunities for it to happen, right? But it hasn't happened at Drag Week since then, which is wild to me because Drag Week's the OG. So Dustin Trance won that year with an 851 average. We moved to 2023. You're looking at 6 passes total for the week that had an 850. So again, 30 something people, 5 days of racing. You have 150 passes for folks and 6 of them are an 850. Right?
Wow.
This is the first year for anyone to do an 850 every day. It was Dustin Trance, obviously, who won it again with an 85048. 2023, you had one single pass. Listen, this is crazy. One single pass, and it was him. He did it on day 1, day 3, day 4, and day 5. And then 2 people did it on day 2. I didn't grab the second person on day 2. But that's how my brain works, nerdy shit, right? So in 2024, we had 4 people do it on day 1. Like that was the year we thought this thing is fixing to get smoked. And then only one person did it the rest of the week. There was nobody that did it on day 5. So
Wow.
7 passes that week. Randy Seward won that class, 85094. Second time anybody's ever finished with an 850 in history. And then 2025, 9850 with something passes turned in during the week. That's
God,
crazy, dude.
Right.
And I'm telling you, there's more than that were ran, but we just don't have that data.
Right.
And again, this is just this class. This is just street race, small block power adder. 2 850 passes per day, one on Friday, every day of the week. So there was a pass run every day of the week, obviously run by Rick Steinke. We talked about that already. Craziest record in history. He ties it down to the 10,000ths with Dustin Trance at an 8.5048. Dude, how the heck does that even happen? And they ran different times throughout the week. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it just blows my mind. But 9 passes in the 850s submitted by racers of the class. I keep talking about how this class is my favorite, but it's stuff like this that makes it. That's why. Like
Yeah.
these cars cannot go faster than an 8500. And when you start digging into what that takes, that's really a lot of times why I covered in the J-Wire Solution segment, because those guys are top front runners in that class. But Jay and I talk a lot about this because you're talking about 2 or 3 inches could be the difference in running an 850 and running an 849 something or an 851 something, depending on how you end up with the times and how you roll your tire, and does it get shallow enough or is it too deep?
Right.
All and those racers, they have it figured out by now. So big shout out to those guys.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the winning times here. So 2019 and 852 is what won it, in 2025 and 8504.
Yeah.
That's
Which doesn't sound like a lot of difference. That's miles away.
yeah.
Miles away. And we really could have seen a tighter battle this year if Ed Schwartz had known he was going to do so well later in the week. He turned in a 52 the first day, and I mean, he ran 850s the rest of the week. So I guess except for Friday. Rick, I think, was the only one that ran. Well, I know Rick was the only one that ran the 850 on Friday, and it was the 8505 or 8507 or something like that. Like when you're talking about the thousandths of a second on street driven cars, that's crazy. These aren't cars. These are street driven, exhausts and all that kind of stuff on them. It's pretty wild, man. So I love this class. This to me really is the epitome of drag and drive racing. These cars can sit in a parking lot, like especially Rick's. Like you would walk by Rick's car and be like, "Oh, that's a cool car." Like would never think that's 170 plus mile an hour, quarter mile car that could probably beat anything and everything in the parking lot. So
right.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, definitely some interesting data there.
Yeah. I probably lose people because I get too nerdy, but man, that shit's cool to me. So big shout out to Rick. Congratulations on tying him. It's crazy that that happened. I'd like to go back through and see who all's won that class over the years and see how many multi-time winners we have within that. I'll do that as we get over the next couple weeks, and then as we begin to expand what that means for classes like at Sick Week and Rocky Mountain Race Week. They also have 850 classes. So, what does that look like with everybody else, and how does that stack up against all the other stuff? Just Drag Week was obviously fresh in my mind, and it's the OG. So it's got 20 years of history with that class. One thing, hang on, I do want to say that is 2012 and up because they did change the class rules in 2012. So all 2012 and forward, I would call the new era of street race small block power rider. Anyways,
Sweet.
yep. All right, sir. Lead us into some Molly stuff, man.
All right. Attention racers and high performance enthusiasts. Are you ready to start your next engine build? If so, there is no better time than right now. Go check out the Molly Motorsports all-in-one Power Pack piston kits. With over 1,200 applications, these kits come complete with pistons, rings, wrist pins, and clips, all designed to work together. Molly Motorsports Power Pack piston kits take out all of the guesswork. No more trying to determine if a piston will need this ring to work with a certain cylinder size. Molly Motorsports did all of that engineering for you so you can get to the part that matters, which is building you a power plant that leads to victory lane. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And for our podcast listeners, Molly is spelled Mahle.
Oh, for sure. Well, let's talk about actually, I'll let you kind of talk about this while I go turn this on the website.
All righty. So we are right now opening up the Molly Toughest Roadside Repair nominations for PRI. So nominate your friends for their crazy amount of work along the roadside, hotel parking lot, or wherever they had to fix their car that wasn't the racetrack. So it's got to be during a regional or national drag and drive event. And it's going to be awarded, like I said, at the Drag and Drive Awards presented by Summit Racing at PRI 2025, which, shoo, that's coming up real quick as well.
You scare me when you talk about how close it is.
Oh, yeah, but don't worry because you just threw a whole nother event in between there.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, you don't need to sleep. It's fine.
No, not at all. It's fine. It's fine. You know, last year, dude, that was probably the toughest decisions we had made last year. Bob Gruber ended up winning, and Bob and Nick Larson ended up winning the event because they were up for 40 hours repairing the engine and all of that kind of stuff. I think we had the deals were in there. I think I got a photo of that one. And then Holly and Alex Rops were in the running and all that kind of, I mean, it was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough last year for sure.
I'm dropping the link in the chat right now.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Yep. So, like you mentioned, Bob was the winner last year. But honorable mention here, Alex and Holly Rops. They
and Robert Voss.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
They attempted at swapping two engines at Texas Motorplex. And then they get 40 miles down the road and have one break again. So that was rough. This photo here that you're seeing, this was the deals, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they ended up taking, I think they had to take 3 apart to get one good one or something like that. How did that work out?
Yeah, it was something like that. Was this for the truck or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then they were using the trailer hitch on somebody's car to.
They're trying to press in a bearing or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. So craziness there. And then Holly and Alex Rops, the next photo here, both of them have their engines apart in the parking lot at Texas Motorplex.
Yeah, that's rough. That's real rough.
Yeah. Robert Voss, and I can't remember his co-pilot's name to save my life now, but they had the complete front end. This is in somebody else's shop, complete front end off of the car. engine pulled up, and then they also had transmission trouble, which is what took them out. Ultimately, they couldn't get the transmission to act right. I think they had already rebuilt it once, and it wasn't going to work, and so then they just called in the towel because they had been up, I think, 36 or 8 hours, something like that. So
Wow.
that's kind of the deal. So we're the toughest roadside is a very hard award to win, mainly because, dang it, there's a lot of guys that break their stuff. But what we're looking for, what typically will win out, is what happened with Bob and Nick. Is that you go on, to either win the class or finish the week. That's really, you don't have to have done that to be nominated within this, but that's one of the things we're looking for winners. Well, we want folks that they got it repaired and then got back on the road and end up finishing the week. You don't have to win your class or anything like that, but this was a crazy story. I mean, you can just see from this photo here, they worked all night in the Motion Raceworks parking lot. With really no help from, Nick ran and grabbed heads that he had. It was borrowed a set of heads to go on the motor. They weren't right. Ended up having to do a bunch of stuff because the lifters were different. It's one of the craziest stories out there. So pretty cool that they ended up doing that. And we're working towards, awards for this class and all that. Obviously, you're going to get recognized at the Drag and Drive Awards presented by Summit at PRI, and then we're going to get you a trophy to put on your mantle and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is a crazy one right here.
Absolutely.
All right. I think as we wind down this last part here, just again, thank you so much to Molly Motorsport and all the stuff they do for us and the sport. I mean, those guys aren't just they're not just sponsors of events like ours and Rocky Mountain Race Week and some of the sick events and stuff. They're sponsors or they're racers. The guys both race. George and Eric Grillo both race their car in Drag Week or Rocky Mountain Race Week or whatever. So that's one of the big reasons we like those guys over there, and they're really smart. So,
Yes.
man, yeah, that's a good thing. All right, sir, I'll let you do this, and then we'll bring in the Weekend Warrior Drag and Drive Racer.
All right. Thank you guys. Everybody in here tonight making comments, watching the show. Appreciate all of you guys. That's why you guys are our race car friends. And of course, our sponsors. Again, we talk about it. We can't do it without them. So please, if you're purchasing anything, reach out to these guys if possible. See if they can help you out. Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performer-Built Transmission, Car Change 3D, Power Tube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk.
That's a cool list there, dude.
You're got that right. It sure is.
I'll tell you. Well, the gentleman's agreement is simply this: we are, we love doing this. We're pretty crazy, to be honest with you, to spend as much time on this as we do, but we need your help. We need you guys to hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're watching this. Just do your part. Do that. We'll keep doing this. We'll move on and keep doing that. Let's kick off this segment here with the Deechworks, and then we'll start talking to the Weekend Warrior Race and Relax promoter. Deechworks is the leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel system components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, pumps, rails, regulators, filters, lines, and fittings, plus surge tanks and pump modules, all engineered to support power levels ranging from 400 to 2200 horsepower. Since its founding, Deechworks has been committed to delivering quality, innovation, and precision to the automotive performance industry. Every DW product is built to maximize reliability and efficiency, ensuring optimal fueling solutions for racers, tuners, and performance enthusiasts worldwide. And you guys know the deal. DDR10 on Deechworks.com gets you a 10% discount from anything that's on the site there. If you have questions, let's link up with Mark Campbell. He's kind of their national sales director, I guess what you'd call him. But what we call him is the dude that knows it all. Mr. 850 racer that knows how to make sure your fueling system is all good to go and all that kind of stuff. So let's actually, I'm going to remove this week. We're going to cover the Weekend Warrior Race and Relax. And I want to say this before he comes on, and then I'm going to say it again to his face. I apologize 100% for this. I missed this event This could have been on our list all year long, and we could have talked about it all year. I have no idea how I missed it, and I feel like a total heel for not talking about it. So let's meet the promoter. Find out what's going on. Mr. Cody, tell us what's up, dude. Who you are, why you chose to host a drag and drive, all that kind of cool stuff.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. Really appreciate it. My dad and I kind of got a wild hair here, the end of last fall. And we've done a couple of drag and drives. My dad and I competed in Rocky Mountain Race Week 2023 in his 68 Camaro. We ended up taking second place in the 14.0 class.
Nice.
And then last year, I tried to step up and take my personal car. I've got a 72 Camaro. And we went down to Tulsa and ran in the excruciating heat in a car with no air conditioning, no cruise control, the typical fun stuff.
Yeah.
And we ended up breaking some parts, felt like I'd finally popped my race week and, had some problems, it sucked, but it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got back from that event, we started telling people, what we had done. And everyone that we talked to, they're like, oh, that'd be so cool if I could go do that. And we're like, well, here's your shot. Mm-hmm. And they go, well, I just can't get a week off work.
Yep.
So here's your chance to get in on a weekend one where, maybe you take off Friday afternoon and you're back to work Monday morning. And a lot of people were scared of the drive, I think, but it turned out great. We went out on a whim and started working with our local track to try and put something together. And it's a short drive. We had a pretty low car count, but it was a lot of fun. Great people. Definitely the same type of environment that we've experienced at every other drag and drive. Yeah. We competed in Big Sky Race Week this year. I ended up taking third place in their hot rod class in my car.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. That event's on my list for 2026.
Oh man, hands down. That is hands down an awesome event. Great people, great drives, beautiful weather. Day one, we broke twice before we even got to the track. And yeah, we lost a tranny cooler line, lost an alternator, got all that stuff fixed. We were the last ones down on day one. And on the drive to the next town, which was Malta, we ended up blowing some holes in the hot side on the turbo kit. And we got in the group chat and, hey, we're needing a shop. And this guy, he hits us up. He said, right as you come into town, turn left, you'll pull into a bay, and here's a welder, here's a cold beer, here's a welder, and there's my tools. Just let me know what you need. And it just awesome. Great people. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I do want to ask, you had so much fun, Rocky Mountain. You had a ton of fun at Big Sky, but so after Rocky Mountain, I guess probably is when this kicked off, because it looked like Weekend Warrior Race and Relax kind of kicked off last February, right?
Yeah. So we really started working with the track last fall, August, September, October, somewhere in there, and trying to get the ball rolling. And we started pushing the stuff on Facebook, and here locally, into February, beginning of March, we started our sign up in April, and we pushed it as hard as we could here locally. I mean, I don't have a giant following on Facebook, so anywhere that we could push it, a lot of the old guys here, we've got a milkshake crew that every other Saturday night we all meet up at a local place here and cruise over to the Sonic and get some ice cream. And really started trying to push it to those guys. They've got some hot rods, and that was the group that we were targeting. Mm-hmm. We didn't know if we'd be able to reach some out of town guys, but you talk about Rocky Mountain Race Week, and some familiar names maybe to you guys is Mark Cooling and Matt Potter. They've been doing it for a long time. And Ben Wood is also another name. He ran in the original Rocky Mountain Race Week. He raced it in 2015, 2016. That's so awesome. We had a few veterans that were able to join us for our little weekend deal.
Well, and I think truly, to me, and Eric hears me say this all the time, regional events are the gateway drug into drag and driving.
Right.
The regional event promoters, we're going to have a good time. Our miles, we're not going to kill you on mileage, things like that. And those guys are going to do one of ours and go, Oh man, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. My car survived,
Right.
and then they're going to go do a big one, So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, bring them in. Oh, it's fine. Come in. The water is great over here, and especially for you guys, like Western Colorado, there's not many tracks out that way, and to really get to a drag and drive, you're talking about Big Sky, which is probably several hundred miles from you at least, I would think, 500 or 600, and then, dude, how far is Tulsa from you guys? 1,000?
It was 920 miles or something like that
Yeah.
for us to
So
get to Tulsa. Yeah.
right, and so for guys that have for a long time taken one family vacation a year, and then now they're going to tell their wife that's the vacation they're going to take. Hey, I'm actually going to be gone 11 days because it's going to take me
Yeah.
forever to go there. She's not into that. So that's why I think these weekend events work so well, because you're really offering it to an audience that is just wanting to dip their toes, really. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and that was definitely the group that we were targeting was the guys that they just want to get started. And we actually had there was 3 racers at our event that have never made a pass at a drag strip before.
That's
Felt kind of
awesome.
unique there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool, and to be able to bring them into that, and then put them dudes on the street or ladies on the street. That's always a big plus.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, I've got in here to talk about the winners, which we're going to go over in just a second. But uh,
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about the area. Like, I'd like to know, how long is the track open annually and things like that.
Well, to start off with, we are the struggle for air. Our track base elevation is 4,600 feet,
Oh, come
and
on.
typically we race at 7,000 DA. So to put it in perspective, Sunday when we finished the event, the DA was 6,900 feet, and
Oh,
everybody was super happy because that's great air for us. In the summertime, it's nothing for us to get 9,000 feet.
oh my
Wow.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
when we go over these winners in this list here momentarily, this is impressive. It's impressive for this to be that competitive.
Yeah, and it's hard to make horsepower up here. We really don't have a whole lot of boosted cars. Pretty much everybody in our index classes was naturally aspirated, apart from one guy. But yeah, it's kind of tough to make horsepower. But we live in a valley. There's mountains on all 4 corners, and
Wow.
so when we started planning a route, it was like, okay, how do we make the drive where you can survive it without having to pull a pass?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Grand Mesa National Monument is off to the east of us, and we can go up over the top of it, drop down into another town that's southeast of us, Delta, Colorado, and loop back around. Our drive ended up being about 140 miles, so it was
Wow.
perfect for a 1-day drive. It was a lot of fun, but if you guys have seen some of the pictures, we struggled with some weather.
Yeah,
A little bit
we're
later.
definitely going to talk about that in a minute
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But as far as our track, we generally open up in April and we'll run to the beginning of October.
Wow.
Just kind of depends on the year. We can get a pretty heavy rainfall in April, but I mean we're desert, so it's pretty dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes the wind or rain will get to us in April, and then October. It just depends on the year. Sometimes we get snow or it starts getting cold. I mean, like today it was 70 degrees here and beautiful
Nice.
sunny. Could have been racing today.
Yeah. Dang. Well, that's the way it goes.
Yep, yep.
Well, walk us through the name. I love the Weekend Warrior Race and Relax. I think that's a great name, but I also love the Weekend Warrior side of stuff. There's a lot of guys that just run their car on the weekends, man. It's perfect.
Right. Well, sadly, we didn't fall victim to. We were trying to plan ahead of the unspoken disagreement going on within our community. We started seeing everything that Wild West was going through, and luckily we were really small, so it didn't hurt anything to do a name change. But yeah, we were started out Weekend Warrior Drag and Drive, and we were like, okay, if something happens and this gets big, we don't want to be fighting a lawsuit or having somebody come after us. So we just went, and it's my dad, my mom, my wife, and I have been kind of the ones putting this together. So over a Sunday dinner, we were like, oh, well, what do you think about this Race and Relax? And yeah, let's run with it. And
yeah. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I've had some lengthy conversations about that whole thing.
Right.
So yeah, love the name though. I think it really fits what you're doing. What you've got going on there for sure. Yeah, there we go. All right, trying to figure out how to make you big, dude.
Okay.
Got to put you on this big on the screen here. So you've done it before. You've had all the fun. Now you're like, hey, I'm going to step into hosting this thing, and we're going to talk about like favorite routes and all that kind of stuff in a minute. So let's do this. Let's run through your winners, and just give us just a quick story, kind of how because some of these were tight. Like,
right.
I didn't go back there and look at the daily results to see who was leading, going into the final day and all that kind of stuff. So kind of give us some downs. We'll start here. First off, we'll start with I think we're starting with the unlimited class. So who won, or I guess we can run through who, Eric, if you want to run through winners and stuff, and then we'll, Cody, you can tell some stories.
Perfect. Yeah. So starting out with the unlimited class, winner was Nick Johnson with an 8.88 average. Second place was Jonathan Ryan with a 9.55 average. And looks like you competed in this yourself. Cody VanWinkle, third place with a 10.39 average. So how was it to race and put on an event? I know I hear sometimes that can be a little difficult.
Yeah, it was. So I brought a friend that had never done this before, and he was my co-pilot. I kind of put him under the gun and told him, hey, if we're doing it, we're going to do it right. So strap in and let's go. It was a lot of fun. Luckily, my car's pretty maintenance free. It's air to water setup with a heat exchanger, twin turbo. We ran on pump gas the whole time. So not a lot of maintenance there. We swapped tires between the street and the track, but put some air filters in, check tire pressure. We can have the car ready to race in 15 or 20 minutes. It isn't too terrible. And I was able to kind of turn him loose on it and trust that he did a good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, tell us a little bit about Nick Johnson. What's he drive and all that?
So Nick Johnson's got a 72 Nova, and this guy is kind of a do-it-all with that car. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Steel City No Prep in Pueblo.
Yep.
So Nick runs one of their kind of drag and drive classes. I think it's Hot Rod. Don't quote me on that, but I think. And he's been very competitive in that all year. He actually ended up winning one here a few weeks back. So that car's deadly fast and really consistent, and he makes a lot of miles in it. He's probably put somewhere in the ballpark 15, maybe 2,000 miles on that car this season. Wow. And they've all been, deep in the nines, high 8 passes. He averaged with an 888, and on the last day he actually ran a mid 850. The car's really capable. Second place there with Jonathan Ryan. He's got a 2004 GTO. And the cool part with this guy is he actually holds the record for the fastest 2004 to 2006 stick shift GTO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's doing it on factory ECM, full interior. This guy's awesome. He ran a 934 against me on Sunday, and I've got a GoPro video with the laundry out at the finish line.
Wow, that's cool.
So he did a really good job showing out that car, and this is actually his first drag and drive. He's been around them a little bit, but this is the first one that he's competed in with that car. And then, I brought up the pack there with the 1039. So for our first year, I'm extremely happy with the competition that we have in our fast class to start with.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And it only gets more competitive from here. Like, I think that's what's crazy to me. So give us the layout. So it was passes Friday, and then Saturday was the drive, and then passes on Sunday, right?
Yes. So with it being a weekend event, and there again, we've ran a few of the indexes for Rocky Mountain and Big Sky. guys get lucky. They make one pass and, they go dead on 3 or something for their dial. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted you to prove that you could do it again. So you actually had to turn in 2 time slips each day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. The cool part for us, though, is with the car count being small, there we can get into this a little bit later, but there was plenty of time to make passes, and guys utilized it. On Sunday,
Oh, yeah.
I ended up making 5 passes in my car on Sunday.
Yeah,
So,
that's nothing compared to the dude that won it. Won the most passes award.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk
Next
about
year
it.
we're getting a trophy.
Oh
Right.
yeah, give that dude tires. That's the trophy.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's move on to the next class here, Eric.
All right, the 11.0 class was Jeep Berry with an 11.059 average, and second place was Matt Potter with an 11.259 average.
So the really cool part with Jeep Berry is his dad. He's a local mechanic to us. He built this car originally, built a motor, and the car was built to go on Rocky Mountain Race Week. Sadly, Ron, he ended up passing away, and they didn't get the chance to take it on one. So it was a big deal for Jeep to bring this car out and be as competitive. We watched several passes. The car went 1080s. He was having a tough time slowing it down. He had pulled enough timing. It was starting to kind of pop and bang on the big end.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then Matt Potter in second place. These guys came over. There are road haul guys. They came over on Friday from around Pueblo, and a totally new setup in this car, completely untested. He's got a good 4L80 with a converter, new shifter. So they were using this weekend to test on that car. It's a twin turboed setup, and very, very successful here for him, and a good weekend, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, so we're talking about 2 passes per day, and Jeep ends up with an 11.059. Like, that's pretty competitive in 11.0 index.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Highly competitive. I don't know if it'll take Rocky Mountain stuff, but hey, that's a 3 for sure.
Well, and that's for it being our first year. I was figuring we'd be somewhere in the ballpark of 11 teens, maybe 11 20s.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd be in the 11 O's and short to follow. Matt had to leave early to travel home. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have been right in there behind. His average for the weekend kind of got messed up on day one, but his first time slip on Sunday, he turned in 11.07 towards his average. So he was knocking on that door of an 11.0 as well.
Yep. Hey, that's drag and drive life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Well, 12.0 winners here. Mobility Driven sponsored that class. Jeremy Kreider with a 12.008 average. Bro, come on. That's awesome. Ben Wood second with a 12.034, and then Mark Cooling with a 12.71 average. Man, that's pretty salty. 008, bro. Get out of here.
Yeah. So this guy this is his first year racing, Jeremy Kreider.
No way.
Yeah, he bought this car. I do. Him and I spent quite a bit of time on it this summer trying to build another tune for it to where it could run 12.0. And he's done great with it. He's done a great job driving it. He's very competitive and wants to win hard. So he's putting in the effort for sure.
Well, man, he could have picked a harder class.
It's a 2000 Ford Mustang single turbo LS turbo 400. The cookie cutter builds.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then
in second place, Ben Wood. He was one of our veterans. He's the one that ran in 2015, 2016 Rocky Mountain Race Week, and he also ran, I believe it was 2017 Hot Rod Drag Week, and I think. And the car, it's an early 2000s Mustang. It's a Boss 302 stick shift setup, and he didn't miss a gear all weekend. And I think we ended up running a count on it. I think Friday he made 12 passes. So he was out there beating on his stuff too, and being a stick car, he was really putting in a lot of effort. He kind of got messed up on one pass. he turned in a 12:05. What this is at, even to say that we're talking about that being a bad pass with 12:0 everywhere just seems super competitive. So there again, props to the guys that came in and able to be this competitive on their first year and our first year for the event. Super happy with it.
Yeah, right. Hang on just a second. I want to look at something because I can't remember. Yeah, hang on. I want to pull up the Rocky Mountain Race Week records because I think the 12:0. Yeah, Andrew Dopta in 2018 at Rocky Mountain Race Week ran his average was a 12:005, and I think he said
man.
he made 12 passes in one day. Like that's incredible. 12:008 is pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, it is. And, Jeremy was one of the, well, actually, we've got a picture somewhere. Jeremy and Ben were the last two to make passes on our event. And they were both fighting to get that one more slip. And it's cool to see them fighting for it.
Yeah, Jay Blanchard has a great story about that. Or was it Jay or no, it was Jeremy Ortiz at when we were at Byron for Six Summer, wasn't it, Eric? Jeremy Ortiz and Chris Mary were like, hey, let's both go run side by side. And whatever that number is, let's just be done. That was on the last day. They were just chopping away at it, man. It's pretty crazy.
And again, that's four time slips, right? To get a 12:008 average.
Correct. Yep.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Does that change your mind, Mike, about your one passes on the short circuit yet?
It really does. Like, it really pushes me towards too, because listen, events like this should be about fun. It should be about making passes. You don't want somebody to just one and done and be gone. And with our format, it's probably similar to you guys. Like, I mean, we're running within a testing tune, so like you don't, it's not like you're gonna have to wait 3 hours for your next pass. Like,
right,
you could probably make another pass in 30 minutes if you wanted to, or 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm right. You may loop back around, which I'm sure some of your guys did. So we may go to 2. We may go to 2 and blame it on Cody.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right.
Let's jump into the 13.0 class. This one was actually really tight. So first place, Tyler White with a 13.024. Second place, Tucker Myers with a 13.052. And then third place, Shane, is it Obernesser?
Yep.
With a 13.074. So again, all three of those with a 13.0 something.
So kind of the curse of a drag and drive, somebody's got to break, right? So Tyler White, the guy that took it home for us in the 13.0 class, he ended up doing a transmission on Saturday night. He heard it Friday, and this is a diesel truck. It's a early 2000s F-250, and he heard it at the track Friday night. It was starting to slip. Took it on the drive on Saturday, and he said by the time he was back to town that you couldn't touch the floorboard. The shirts and everything that we gave everyone was in a plastic bag, and he melted a hole in that bag, and it actually kind of burned up his shirt a little bit. He said he was cruising third gear, like 3,600 RPM the whole drive back, and it was just smoking hot. But yeah, they spent all of Saturday night changing the transmission, being back at the track Sunday morning, and his first pass was a 12:55. So the new transmission woke the truck up just a little bit, and he spent the day just bouncing between a mid 12 to a mid 13, and his last slip that he turned in is really what sealed the deal for him. He went dead on 5, and that's what split the pack. Second place is Tucker Myers, 13:05. He was another one of the cars that just kind of drove in a circle. He had a plan. He would cool the car down for an hour and then come up and make 3 passes back to back. Just trying to chase that number a little bit. And then Shane, who got third with a 13:07, this guy was our roundy round hero. He's driving an early 2000s GMC pickup. It's a single turbo 6-liter with a 4L80. And I need to know who built the transmission in this truck. He made 46 passes between Friday and Sunday.
Dude, that's insane.
Yes. And
Wow.
the converter had to have just been bright red. I mean, with it being a turbo truck, he'd spooled up on the line, and yeah, it was that thing's stout. And he lives in Steamboat, which is a couple hours from us. So he drove the truck here, beat on it all weekend, and then still had to drive it home. And that is his source of transportation. So he drove it to work Monday morning. So,
man, that's so crazy. So you've got here on your post 46 passes total across 2 days, 20 on Friday and 26 on Sunday. That's like
yes.
that's like tip top. Somebody help me out. Raj made 26 or 8 passes one day during an event during 666, and then somebody tagged Nico Cristoferi because he made 24 or 6 or something like that during the circuit 2024.
Yeah.
Man.
What was the kid at Midwest Drags? I think it was a 12-0. Didn't he end up making a bunch of passes too when we were there?
Oh
It
man,
was
who
a
was that?
70 something Camaro.
Zach.
Yeah.
Dang, I can't remember his last name. I just saw pictures of him earlier. I was
Yeah.
deleting photos out of my phone, and he was in there. Zach Austin or something like that. He
He
actually
was
moved.
another one.
Yeah, he moved to Springdale, which is south of me, and lived here for like a year and a half. We saw each other a couple times at Mocan and stuff. So big shout out there.
That's
Zach.
cool.
Hang on, now I gotta look up his name. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That is crazy to do that to make that many passes.
Yeah. And he was upset. So when we left the track Friday night, he was in the running for first. He pretty much had it locked up, or so we thought. And then we come back for Sunday, and Tucker goes 13:01 off the trailer, and Tyler, after making a few passes, he finally turned in a 13:01. So Shane started sweating it a little bit, and the DA got good. He just couldn't slow the truck down. He was really struggling trying to pick a drop spot, and just chasing that number.
Man, that's wild. So, how did you guys do your stuff? Did people know what they were up against in the middle of the day? Like, did you have like a Google Doc or something like that?
Yeah, so we had a Google Doc that we shared Friday. We weren't doing day of. We were doing, I guess we'd do live updates once somebody turned slips in.
Oh yeah.
But Jeremy Kreider, the guy in our 12-0, I bet he made 5 trips over to the registration trailer, like thinking about turning his slip in. And every time he'd walk up, Ben would drive by, headed up to make another pass. And he's like, "Oh, can't do it yet. I don't know what this guy's going to run."
That's awesome.
Yeah, the competition of it.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Top 3, all 13-0s. Man, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty cool. All right. Well, that takes us to the 14-0 class. And again, some tight ones here. The winner was Hayden VanWinkle with a 14.013. Second place, Connor Keller with a 14.056. And then third place, Alex Rice with a 14.119. And then just looking at your other ones here, 14.185, 14.188, 14.6, and 15.0. So all pretty good there.
Yeah. This was another class that I was super happy to see the competitiveness in, and we really didn't know who was going to win. Hayden VanWinkle, our first place guy, on Friday, he turned in a 14 dead on 2, and then he turned in a 14 dead on 5. So he was going into Sunday with a 1403 or 1404 or dead on 4. So everybody was really thought he had it sewed up. But that's the cool part about racing here is the air can change drastically just over a day or two. So Saturday we had some weather move in, and it really made the air come good on Sunday. So guys were trying to slow their stuff down, which made that 14.0 really hard to get to. But one of our number 5, John Ellison, he turned in a 14.18 average. He started the week off with his truck running 1450s. So the air really helped him out. And then same thing with Alex Rice. He was, 1420s and 14 teens, high teens. So the air helped those guys drastically on Sunday improve their average, and it really tightened the whole field up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, looking at fourth and fifth here, I mean, you talk about close. John Ellison with a 14.185 and Chris Mills with a 14.188. Like, those guys had to have been going back and forth.
Oh yeah, and there was, but it was funny because sometimes you get the guys that they start chasing the personal gain instead of their class. John Ellison with the 14.18 average, he went 14 dead on 2 for his last pass of the event, and he wanted it to run a 13. He'd pulled the tailgate off of his truck. He was pulling the seats out. He pulled the headlight. You know, he's doing everything he can do to get it to pick up.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, 2,000ths away. He was right there.
Ouch, man, that's tough. Any super cool cars in this grouping here?
The 14.0 stuff, it was a lot of cool stuff. Connor Keller, our second place guy, he waited until about a month ago to put this car together, and I bet there's less than 500 miles on the car even after the event. He had been driving it to work, working the bugs out of it. Typical fashion, wait until the day of to finish it off. This was also everybody in the 14.0 class. Steve Wolf, he's been around it, but I don't know if he's actually competed in one himself. So I think pretty much everybody in this class are all, new guys and rookies. Wow. So it's good to see them coming out and learning how to do it and having this level of competition still.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see what else we got here. We'll bring you back up here, big stage. So talk to us about the poker run stuff here. So you got a relaxed crew poker run.
Mm-hmm. So we started out, it was a little $25 entry, and this was something that we really geared towards those guys I'd mentioned, the milkshake crew that we run with. A lot of street cars, but not so many race cars, just trying to get them a reason to get the car out of the shop. There's a lot of really cool cars in this town that never see the light of day. They build them and they've got 200 or 300 miles on them total. And we try and explain to them that there's something different about doing this, to where you get out and you make a drive and go hang out with a bunch of people. So for our poker run, we chose all the same checkpoints that our racers had to hit, and we just set a little table up at the back. They ran through and picked their card. There was a bit of controversy on Saturday. We had advertised that the poker run was from 8 to 5, and the racers had beat us back to the track, which was the final checkpoint. So they ended up getting turned away, and they couldn't get back to the track until after 5 o'clock. And the guy that had won it, he was really pushing that 5 o'clock deadline because he knew he had it sewed up. He ended up winning with 3 kings, ace high. Oh. Yeah. My co-pilot, for a little 5-card deal. And my co-pilot ended up coming in second with a 777s and a 10 or something like that. But
wow,
it was just another thing that we were trying to do to bring some people in, more so for the cruising, and show them, hey, if you do it this year, you're really going to like the drive. You're going to see all these guys racing, and, we're going to con you into doing it next year.
That's exactly right. I've asked Nico how many passes he made during the day, and then I'm going to ask Raj too how many he made as well. Man, 46 is a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
46 is a bunch.
He would make 4 or 5 at a go. I mean, just literally drive in a circle, never shut the truck off, make a pass,
crazy,
right back into the lanes, and go again. He brought the truck runs on E85, and he lives at Steamboat, and he brought 25 spare gallons of ethanol with him. And he was worried about getting back to the next closest town, which is Rifle. It's 60 miles from us. He's like, I don't know if I've got enough to make it back to the gas station to fill up. So he burned through a lot of fuel this weekend.
That's crazy.
I can imagine.
Rovik's on his way to Six Smokies, so maybe he's in the car right now, or he's probably eating tacos somewhere, knowing him.
Yeah. Right.
Well, all right. Well, let's kind of end the winners conversation there. Again, thanks so much to DeechWorks. Appreciate them a whole lot. We got an email just before the show started that they are stepping up big time for the short circuit, the new Dragon Drive event we're hosting at Tulsa. So appreciate them a whole lot, and just their knowledge, man. Mark Campbell is a really smart guy. If you have technical questions about your fuel system, get with us. We'll get you Mark's contact and all that kind of stuff. And let's, Eric, I'll let you do the performer built transmissions. Then we're going to talk about kind of your favorite stuff. What all was your favorite of the weekend? So,
all right, Performer Built Transmissions is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performer Built Transmissions, their goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions; they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That is why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performa built. And appreciate Performa Built for being part of our program here. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what, some of your favorite cars were. I know we talked a lot about the cars as we were going through the winners there, but was there a couple that kind of stood out to you?
Definitely our fast class. I mean, it's a feat to go fast. There's Jonathan Ryan in that stick shift GTO, and then Nick Johnson. I mean, anytime you can force a car of that caliber to stay together and make a drive and still compete at that level is fascinating. I have no idea what it would take for these guys that are super fast at the big events. There's a lot of cool stories. Our profile picture right now is Steve Wolf's 1955 Bel Air. Oh. He was late getting to the track trying to add or change the fuel pump so he could run nitrous on the event and really try and get down into those 14.0s. But this car, it's a beautiful car, and he's been slaving away on it all summer trying to get it ready for our event.
I'm going to tell you this, and I don't know if I sent this in the message or not, but this shot here is going to be an iconic shot. Like this is the way the field, the landscape looks behind it, the way the clouds are, the location of the car, like that rear 3/4 shot. Dude, this is like a t-shirt, back of a t-shirt right here for Weekend Warriors 2026 or something.
Exactly.
This is great shot here.
Well, and that really does capture kind of the thing of the drive. Our drive, we drove over the top of that mountain, and he's probably about halfway up it right there. So it was definitely a climb, and with the clouds in the background and the colors, it was absolutely gorgeous. The drive was a ton of fun, and being able to take these cars and drive them in cool weather where you're not really sweating is a whole nother level of experience for us and a level of fun.
Well, and again, this is what these events are for, is to get that car out, take that chance, drive along, and hey, be anxious, bro. It's fine. It's good for you to look at every gauge on your car every 14 seconds, to make sure that suddenly something hadn't jumped up 150 degrees. So it's good for you, especially like cars like this. And this shot, man, I'm telling you, when I thought, I was just like, golly, that's where it's at right there, big time.
As somebody that takes a lot of photos, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, that's all Steve Wolf, and he did a great job in there.
Yep. And I'll just run through some photos here, kind of while you go over some others. Is this your car?
Yes. Yeah, this is my car. We built it as a family, and it started out as a carbureted small block, worked its way into a single turbo LS setup, and then now into the twins. And every time we make changes, it's always geared towards the drag and drive stuff. We changed the passenger seat so my wife has a comfortable seat. I still struggle in the Kirky, but I got to stay low enough to where my helmet clears. Rugged radios, and my only complaint's the fuel cell's too small. We can get 120, 130 miles out of it before we about run out of gas. So,
man, that's when I want to get out. It's about 100.
Yeah. Oh,
like, hey, I need to walk around for a minute.
Yeah, legs start to fall asleep for sure.
Yeah. Well, big shout out to you for the banners on the front at Rocky Mountain Race Week, Big Sky Race Week, all that stuff. And then how about that certified streetcar back there in that top left corner?
Yeah, those are so that was from Rocky Mountain Race Week 2024, and then Big Sky Race Week 25. And we dropped the ball this year. We didn't get the I Survived stickers, but we are working on it. For those of the folks that completed our event in 25, we are working on getting you guys some I Survived stickers.
That's awesome. And it's those cool decals like that that make all the difference, man.
Yeah, one of our participants, when he turned his time slips in, he was just kind of standing at the registration trailer and kind of being like a little kid, kicking his feet around, just looking around. And my wife goes, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And he goes, "Well, I'm waiting on my sticker." We're like, "Oh shoot!" So yeah, lesson learned.
Yep. Hey, that's the way it goes, man. That's a new event blues, man.
Right.
Who's in this first photo? These photos here.
So the red Mustang there, that's Tucker Myers, which is our second place 13-0 winner. And then I'm tucked in behind him. He made the drive on radials, and they're a rather old radial, so there are not a whole lot of lines left in them. So the drive got to be a little bit sketchy. Worrying about some of the conditions
you're like,
that he fought.
I'm behind you. I'll be behind you.
Yeah. I was like, well, then that way I don't have to try and turn around when you stuff it in the ditch. I can just pull over with you. Yeah, and then the picture on the right is a couple of local friends of ours. He brought this Corvette up, and then that Camaro. The gray 55 that's in the picture on the right, that's one of our local track folks. He brought it up just kind of a show and tell, and we tried really hard to get him to bring that car on. And Steve Wolf and this guy, we were trying to get him a picture on the track, just kind of as an iconic picture, but we kind of ran out of time late in the evening there.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it looks like amazing stuff. There's one other shot. I'd love to hear the story on this because you sent this over earlier. What's going on here?
So this is one of the pullouts before the top of our route over the top of the mesa, and that is actually snowing. So the car in the middle, that is our winner of the Unlimited. That's Nick Johnson in his Nova. The white Trans Am, and he'll kick me for saying that, I'm sure. The 4th gen F body is our second place 12-0, I believe. That's my 14-0. Wow, missed that mark. My bad. Yeah, second place of 14-0. That's Connor Keller. And then the truck on the far end, that's the kid I was telling you about that was fighting ET all weekend, pulling body panels off, trying to make it go faster. And him and his dad did the event together, and it looked like they had a great time. It was hopefully a big memory for them in the future.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a wild shot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was our entertainment for the time slip when they were turning stuff in. He told us, he's like, "I'm going to be in every picture that we take at the checkpoint." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." I didn't take him serious on it. And, he turned into a little bit of a jokester, but it definitely gave us a good laugh, especially for my wife when she was taking in all the registration. It can get kind of stressful, so gave a good chuckle.
That's awesome.
So what were your route stops for the event?
So the first one was a local, it's Talbot's. I can't remember the cider company. Sorry, had a blank there. There we got a lot of peach farms out on kind of the east side of town to us here. So we kind of ran all of our participants through peach country and took them on the back roads through Palisade. And before we dropped him off, there was a very short stint on the interstate before we turned and headed uphill into the town of Mesa, where we stopped at a local restaurant called the Wagon Wheel. And those guys were really nice to us, and a lot of folks stopped in, had breakfast. When we came through, we stopped and ate a bite of lunch before we sent them clear up over the top of the mesa and dropped them down into Cedar Ridge, which they were actually having Apple Fest at. and we were kind of worried about the route and traffic, and there was a ton of people there. But thankfully, we were able to just pretty much cut straight through town, and nobody got hung up. No cars ran hot or anything.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, that brought us into the third checkpoint, which was it's called the Shop. So it's a local automotive repair shop and diner in Eckert, Colorado. And that guy's a total gearhead.
Automotive repair and diner. I'm in,
Yep.
bro.
Yep. They and they had a packed house when our crew came through. Everybody stopped in there and had lunch. The guys that left early from here. And I will say this: I was a little bit disappointed. Our trailer burnouts, we were down, but I had told everybody as the promoter, I was like, I can't tell you to do them.
Yeah.
But this was the one location that the guys were actually able to do it. Jeep Barry, he's the one that started the winner of our 11-0. He did the first one. And then Hayden VanWinkle, the winner of our 14-0, he came through and he laid down a pretty good black stripe. But I was one of the last cars through of the day, and the folks that were running the checkpoint, they told me I got to show them up. So Transbrick makes pretty light work of doing a good burnout.
Yeah, especially you know, get into a little bit of boost and wheel speed, man. We'll just get you some wheel speed right out of the gate. That's awesome.
Yep. And then that ran us down into Delta, and we ran into a little town just outside of Delta called Pea Green. And the cool part about Pea Green is I grew up hearing stories about it. It's a little dance hall, and it's a community center with a little store. That's actually the picture of Connor laying across the hood of his car. These guys all year, they just kind of collect some parts, and then they do a little sale at the end of the year, selling some stuff off. So that's all donated items back in behind him there.
Oh, wow. How cool.
Yep. So then we ran through the back roads of Delta. We really wanted to keep everybody on a 2-lane road. We wanted to avoid the interstate as much as possible and the highway. But with where we're located, there was probably 35 or 40 miles of highway between us and that little town. It's Highway 50. It's a smooth road with a speed limit of 65, but trying to keep it considerate.
It's not an interstate. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, the max speed limit on our route.
Yeah, so you think about the way people are driving. They're driving 80. You guys are cruising 60, 65. Like, there's a lot more people that are going to see these hot rods cruising down the road as they're passing them.
Right. Yeah, we kept the speed limit. Everything stayed under 65 for the route. I know there was a couple of cars here that are pretty tall geared, and they were worried about running, sustained speeds for that long.
Yeah.
Welcome to Drag and Drive.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, Steve Wolf's comment there, the Mesa is just over 10,000 feet in elevation. That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, it was a beautiful drive. And I don't know if we sent you guys any pictures of that or not. We ended up driving through snow. And the friend of mine that I was following on radials, he was driving through slush, and I was giving him a hard time because he was offset to the left, and just both tires were driving directly through the trails of slush. And I said, traction's a lot better if you stay out of that. He's like, well, if I start to spin, I'll just spin into traction and it'll be fine. I was like, well, that's a good theory, I guess. But yeah. Nick, the winner of our unlimited class, he was having to scoop snow off of the windshield of his car when they had stopped up top. Yeah. And we had one guy in our relax crew that is he's an absolute animal. He did it on a Harley, and he stopped at one of the lodges up top and stood over the top of a fire trying to dry his pants out.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, those guys that do these things on motorcycles, you guys are nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, so as we kind of start to wind down here, one of the questions I got is, are you going to do it again next year?
Absolutely. We've heard a ton of people say they want to do it again, and one of my local friends, he participated in it. He's like, well, I'm going to build another car for it and put my wife in the one that we ran this year. So he's looking to step his game up. We've been sending the little trailers to each other back and forth in our groups,
Nice.
just trying to show him that there's a little bit more to it than packing everything in the trunk and hoping for a good time.
Yeah.
But definitely going to go for it again. And I think the people that are involved in it now have a way better idea, and they're not going to be near as intimidated by it next year.
Well, and they're going to go to Sonic every couple weeks, and they're going to talk about the experience they had, and that's just going to grow it, man. It's going to be That's really cool. And hey, listen, you've got my number. Please, the minute you get updates, let me know. We'll add it to the list. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the list. Do you think you'll do it kind of this same time next year? You're going to move it up, back? What do you think?
That's what we're thinking. Try to kind of keep it in the same timeline. Our track is, really busy in that September range, and we're not trying to put guys in hot race cars in the middle of summer. Trying to stay away from that June, July. Plus, I know a lot of the other Dragon Drives are happening in that time of year, and weather for us in May and April, we could be driving in the same conditions that we ran in October. So it's it's a little bit of a toss up, but I think we're going to stay in that same time of year. We might move it up a week or two depending on the track schedule.
Yeah. Well, I'll get it added to the 2026 schedule then for sure here.
Awesome.
As we end this. Yeah, dude, I hate to keep talking about it, but I'm sad I missed because you guys did a great job promoting it. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I did not see that on the list, and I apologize. But hey, you got the first one out of the way. Now we're gonna, we'll talk about it as much as we can and help grow. From a promoter standpoint, what'd you learn?
A lot. I've never done anything like this before. Definitely learned a lot just about trying to not get the cart ahead of the horse. Make sure you got something ironed out before you go speaking your mind. We had a couple of rules. Yep, we had a couple of rules for our event that I kind of had to swallow because I had mentioned that this will be fine, and it was an unspoken. It was an unspoken rule that I was go ahead, no problem. Definitely going to revise some stuff in that aspect next year. Make sure everything is a little bit more spelled out.
And then people will complain because you have too many rules. Trust me.
Right? Yeah.
That's me how I know.
Push it a little bit earlier in the year. We ran into some planning issues early on this year. We're going to try and really get the ball rolling in January, so we can start reaching out to some folks to work with on this event. And push it hard throughout the year, and like this now we've got some folks involved, and I feel like word can travel fast, and that'll help promote it as well. But no, I appreciate you guys bringing me on, and this has been awesome.
I've got to make my way out there. And funny story, I looked up just a second ago to see how far from like Redwood Rally you guys are. Dude, it's still 1,000 miles from your place to Medford, Oregon. Redwood Rally, like you're the closest. If you're in the Rockies, like if you're on the west side of the Rockies, you got to give this dude a holler.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive to everywhere. It was 650 miles up into Montana for us to go to Big Sky, and Vegas and Boise are about the biggest local tracks to us. There's a little track over in Vernal, Utah. It's an 8-mile deal. But there again, the road to get there is brutal, and I'm not sure I'm ready to send cars over it yet.
Well, and I don't, with the stuff you have around there, I don't think you have to. I think for regional events like what you're hosting, like there's nothing wrong with going one direction. If you did 3 days of racing, you could go one direction one day and another direction another day, or loop around and do it, different side of the route, whatever, there's always different ways to get there, because as people begin to do this more and more people are going to do this because they're going to see these cars have fun, these people out doing stuff. Guys like Steve Wolf are going to be talking about this thing at the Milkshake Crew down there, giving him a rough time. He said for not going with him, and dude, he should. Those guys are weak. They should have come.
Yep.
That's awesome.
You got any changes that you're considering for next year's event?
I think if we can just do as good next year as we did this year, I felt like the event went really smooth. So no real big changes. I would like to add a couple of classes. Just not sure which direction to go. I've been chatting with some of our local guys here, and I don't think we've quite got the stick shift class cars, to chase that. The 10.0 class gets kind of complicated. We've got some 10.0 cars, but I'm not sure if they fall more into the unlimited or if they'd slow them down to run 11.0. So we might end up adding a couple of slower classes. I'm not sure I've been to an event with a 15 or 16.0 index, but we might be able to get a hold of some more local guys here with a slower class like that.
Yeah, that could be fun, or like a DYO style setup or something like that, where you're kind of chasing your own numbers there.
Yeah,
it could be interesting, huh? Well, dude, you've done a great job. Thanks for coming on tonight. This was kind of short notice. Again, found out about the event the other day. Started messaging you guys. You were right back. You were in the middle of the event, and he's emailing me. like, dude, what are you doing? But I appreciate that a whole lot, man. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna put you backstage. You don't have to leave yet. I would like to talk to you for a few minutes if you have a few minutes after the show. So, all right, buddy.
Absolutely.
Thank you again for coming on, guys. Again, Weekend Warrior Race and Relax. Get it on your mind. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen here so you guys know what you're looking for on Facebook, and make sure you get on this page. I mean, they're going to be posting all kinds of stuff. I'm sure they've got hundreds of photos in their phones from the weekend, and people that participated in the event will be posting and stuff like that. So jump on there, find this, go over, start following it. I mean, you guys really are in a great location for some serious growth. There's not just a ton of events out there, and we need more people doing more stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yep,
all right, man. Thank you. Dude, how fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I can put that one on the list for 26, but that was definitely on the list for the future. Sounds like they got a really good handle on stuff, and we love it when drag and drive racers become promoters and start doing their own event and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What else we got? I don't think I've got an email back on the guest for next week, so we'll hold off on that. Again, big shout out to Ryan and the team at Performabuilt for being part of the program here. Love that dude. He's so smart with transmissions. Like, dude, they put a 4L60 in the sevens. Like, come on, man.
And in
Crazy.
a 7,000 pound wagon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how he prices cars, just super cool. And 4L60 running that thing, and it runs 10s. So
yeah,
man, lead us out.
All right. Again, appreciate everybody that jumped on here. Obviously, some new names here in the chat with the Weekend Warrior. So appreciate everybody jumping over here, making comments. Again, you guys are the reason that a second event for the circuit is going on. You guys are the reason that I keep going on getting these photos out, because you guys are always complimenting the photos, purchasing photos. So again, we without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. So we appreciate everything you guys do as well. And of course, our sponsors, these guys here are what help us get to all these events and take pictures and be able to put on a second event, on short notice like this. So again, if you guys are going to spend some money, please check out these companies, support those that support us: Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, AFCO Racing Products, Performabuilt Transmissions, Car Change 3D, PowerTube TV, WAF Racing, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yep, for sure. Awesome.